Halloween tour. You're catching the action from last night, Wednesday, this Thursday night on MTV, and right now it's time to get the lowdown on Skunk Works, of course, the band fronted by Bruce Dickinson. So welcome along to the show, Bruce. How are you today?
All right, a bit subdued in the throat department,
yes.
But all right otherwise.
Well, we need you to talk, but we'll keep it to a minimum. So actually the first question for Bruce comes from a viewer, and it's actually from Peter Latimer from County Antrim. And Bruce, you've got the question there.
If I remember rightly, Halloween and Iron Maiden used to tour together quite a lot, and at that time anyway appealed to the same sort of people. With your new image, aren't you afraid of touring with a band which is certain to bring memories of you in various strange sorts of trousers, screaming about monsters flooding back? I never screamed about monsters flooding back.
But that is an interesting question, I think, because you're trying to get away from being called the ex-Iron Maiden frontman, and now you're touring with a band that was associated with that genre.
Yes.
But you must be happy about it to be here.
Well, there's lots of people, and they're all screaming, and they'll chant Skunk Works at the end of the show. So, as far as I'm concerned, whoever we play to, if it's bums on seats, not that the audience are bums, but you know, as long as it's people in the crowd and stuff, we don't really care. We've got to do this tour to get out the whole Skunk Works thing. Right. We're doing our own headline tour of Europe, and it's like September, right. October, and Japan we're headlining, and England we're headlining. So we're just having loads of fun, and it's so different to the Halloweeny show. You won't believe how different it is. Well, you probably will because you'd have seen it, but it's just like totally a different universe. So it's kind of cool because you come along and you get sort of the Halloween with the kind of the traditional thing and the flash pots and everything else, and then you get us with like lava lamps and weirdness and odd, all of us doing our Doors impression and just having fun, really.
So there you go, Peter, the answer to your question.
The question is yes.
Yes. Now, you've called the band Skunk Works. It's going under a band name now, and Skunk Works is like a secret military installation where they build military aircraft. Yeah. So my question is, in Bruce Dickinson's Skunk Works, what is your what is your secret weapon?
It's carrot juice.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's carrot juice. We have a juicer, Alessandro in particular, who's in charge of the juice. So he makes up these concoctions, right. And it's like the secret of eternal youth basically, and the ultimate vibe.
Sounds very healthy. Okay, we're going to check out a Skunk Works video right now, and the first one from the album. And sorry, I've just got to kind of do a good little demonstration for this. This is Bruce Dickinson, Back from the Edge. As support, a great package there, and a great package here on the Halloween tour with Skin, who we met earlier, of course, Skunk Works, and Halloween still to come. Bruce is here still to talk about Skunk Works, and you went on the last album, you went from being Bruce Dickinson to using a band name of Skunk Works. Yeah. Now that suggests to me that it's become far more of a band effort, and you don't want it just to be Bruce Dickinson with some backing musicians.
Yep. That's right.
Yes. But that was because you gelled through all the touring, and they all contributed a lot more to the record. And
well, it was always the idea from the start that if it worked out, that it should become, a band. And apart from anything else, Bruce Dickinson is a really crap name for a rock and roll band. I mean, it is. So, I mean, Skunk Works is just a much cooler name, and I'm sort of basically unhappy about this idea of being a quote-unquote solo artist, because I mean, if I was, I don't know, some guy like a Michael Bolton sort of thing, God forbid, sorry Michael, but if I was doing that, it sort of makes sense, but it's not. I mean, what we're trying to do here is serious full-on rock and roll, and stuff that basically nobody else is doing right now. In that there's a lot of jamming goes on, there's an awful lot of interplay between us, and no night, I guarantee you come see Skunk Works and no night is ever going to be the same. I mean, really different every night. So it's great because we can flip from Portishead to the Doors to Purple to Soundgarden, and it's it's just like the universal language, you know. It doesn't. There's no boundaries and there's no time barrier. And them being young is just sort of an accident, really. I mean, age doesn't really enter into it. They just happen to be an incredible bunch of musicians.
Right. Okay. Well, while Bruce is making a new start with Skunk Works, there's a band back in the UK who have sadly called it a day. It is, of course, the Almighty. They played their last ever show at the Shepherd's Bush Empire in London this past Tuesday, and lots of viewers have written into us and asked us to say adios amigos to the Almighty by playing a classic video, and that's what we're going to do now. Thanks to the Almighty for I think 7 or 8 years of killer music. Sad to see you go, guys, and good luck for everything you want to do in the future. And we'll check out the Almighty classic video. I'm so happy to see this again. Destroyed. About Skunk Works, and actually a viewer's question on the way again. It's from Karen Gibson in Middlesex, and she would like to know, do you feel that this album will finally see you losing the tag of ex-Iron Maiden frontman?
Yes.
You sound very positive about that, nice and hopeful.
Yeah, I am. In fact, it's really interesting. This is the first time on this tour that we've ever played an Iron Maiden tune, which we did at the very last encore, last song, because we thought, oh well, we'll do it for a laugh.
That's great.
Yeah, and a load of pundits came up after 3 years of agonising about whether or not we should do it. All these kids came up after the last couple of shows and said, you don't need to play that song, we'd rather hear another Skunk Works tune, and they're all Maiden fans. I was like,
brilliant.
well, that's great, but oh well, you know.
You're getting there.
Oh no, it's definitely, I mean, this is so different to Maiden, so cool, so like out there, and so out of control sometimes that it's I mean, it's the best stuff I've done in donkey's years. I don't know, there's two ways of looking at music. One is that you're there to sort of, you know, you're there to do music and you take stuff from the audience and, you know, you make a living out of it and everything. And that's just taking, and that sucks. And the other one is that you're giving something back. And if you give something to people, they give stuff back to you and it just grows.
Yeah.
And Skunk Works is a really giving album. It's a really cool album, and it has a lot to offer.
Yeah, very diverse.
Yeah, and there's nobody making music like this at the moment. Like what we're doing.
Excellent.
Like what we're doing. Like what we done.